Hi there. We're in day 120 of our New Testament in 1 year. And today we're starting Luke chapter 21. Okay, he's in Jerusalem. He's been speaking. You're going to get in trouble here pretty soon, right? What is offering? Jesus looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the offering box. He saw a poor widow put in 2 small copper coins. And there's a note for that. Jewish worth about 128 was a denarius, which was a day's wage. 128. Wow. That's like a fraction of a penny. And he said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all of them, for they all contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, put all she had to live on." Okay? Amazing. Right? It's not the amount. Jesus foretells destruction of the temple. This get him in a lot of trouble later on. But he was right. He was always right. And while some were speaking of the temple, how it was adorned with noble stones and offerings, he said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." And they asked him, "Teacher, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when these things are about to take place?" And he said, "See that you are not led astray, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he.' Time is at hand. Do not go after them." Now that's happening right now. Okay, there are people right now doing this. Do not go after them. And when you hear of wars and tumults, or rumors of wars, don't be terrified, for these things must first take place, but the end will not be at once. Right? What's going on right now? Wars, rumors of wars. Everybody's fighting with each other and fighting amongst themselves. Right? Jesus foretells wars and persecution. Right? Signs of the times. Then he said, "The nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom." There would be great earthquakes. There has been earthquakes everywhere. There was an earthquake in Pakistan today, 4.4. Right? In various places, famines and pestilences, and there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. But before all this, they will lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors for my name's sake. This will be your opportunity to bear witness. Settle it therefore in your minds not to meditate beforehand how to answer. Okay? Don't worry about what to say. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which none of your adversaries will be able to withstand or contradict. Right? Other Gospels say the Holy Spirit will put the words in you. Right? You will be delivered up even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends. And some of you they will put to death. You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but not a hair of your head will perish. By your endurance you will gain your lives. There you go. And that's very similar to Matthew 24, which goes into a lot more detail, right? Because Matthew, being a tax collector, was used to detail. So there you go. That's the first part of Luke 20, and it'll probably continue. You can check tomorrow. Yeah, foretells the destruction, the coming of the Son of Man. Right. So that will continue tomorrow, very similar to Matthew's chapter 24. And good stuff. Good stuff. Let's jump back real quick. Anything to go over here? The offering. Give what you have. Okay. Right. That's important. Foretells the destruction. Now this happened like 70 years after his crucifixion, just as he said. Okay. Everything was torn down and taken away. And he foretells of times like this is now, right? This sounds like now, but it's happened in the past too. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes, and in various places, famines and pestilences. And there will be terrors and great signs from heaven, right? That like lightning and thunder, and things in the sky. And we will all be persecuted, right? At some point, Christianity will be outlawed, and we will be the outlaws. Right? This will be your opportunity to bear witness. You like that? I like this part. Settle it in your minds not to meditate beforehand how to answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which none of your adversaries will be able to withstand or contradict. All right? Have you ever been in trouble and prayed and been given the words to say? I have. Okay, I have. I have quoted verses that I have read but not memorized. And they come to you. And the Spirit says, tell them this, and you tell them that, and you quote. And it sounds very authoritative because it's the Holy Spirit speaking through you. Okay, you should always listen and give him the opportunity to do that. Okay, so settle it therefore in your minds not to meditate beforehand how to answer. Okay? I like that. Yeah. That you will be delivered up by even by parents and brothers. It says brothers and sisters and relatives and friends. Some of you they will be put to death. All of the apostles except for John was put to death. Okay. And the one thing that proves Jesus was real and was resurrected is all they had to do was deny Jesus, and they would have been set free. Every one of them went to their death because they would not deny that Jesus was real and was resurrected and was God. Okay? If you need any more witnesses than that, you don't believe, then your heart is stone. Okay? You've ever heard of even one person going to death for their beliefs? Okay? Because they believed it was real when all they had to do was say something and they would have been set free. Okay? Even John, he wasn't crucified, but he was boiled in oil. He was literally deep fried, which would kill anybody, and he didn't die from it. They couldn't kill him. Crazy. So he suffered some things worse than death. Okay. But yeah, he was right. He did. Right? You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but not a hair of your head will perish. Right? In the afterlife, right? But by your endurance you will gain your lives. Okay? The flesh is not the life, okay? The soul and the spirit is the life. So, there you have it. Interesting stuff, huh? There you go. And it's getting better and better the farther we get into the Gospels, okay? We're getting to the end of this. And then there's the Gospel of John, which is probably the most informative, okay? Right? Because John, I think, it's not his brother, it was John. Right, the second apostle he called Simon Peter first, and then John and James, the sons of Zebedee. This is John, who was with him from the very beginning. So, there you go. That's day 120. Catch up on anything you may have missed. And tomorrow we'll continue. See you later.